evening and welcome. Well. Liz, you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Well, I was going to do some. I advertised doing some cooking tonight, and but I know we've forgotten about it, didn't we? Once again, so we need to get together
We
and
need
do
to get
something.
organised.
Yeah. So sorry, folks. We yeah, but never mind. So Liz, what I do want to talk about tonight is something that is really close to my heart, and and that is food.
My favourite subject.
I know, I know. Now, what I've been reading today about the government are saying that people over a certain BMI, they're going to give them a gym pass to go to the gym. They've got to lose so much weight, all right, before they can go for a gastric band. Now, I certainly believe in that. I do. I must admit, I do. There's some issues with that too, where there's some people they don't do nothing at all, like no exercise, and they expect the government to pay for their operations, which is around about £20,000, and out of the NHS coffers. Now, when I was in the papers a while back, I mentioned about this to them. I said, look, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there who are kind of like who can't afford an operation, and you're going to give them a pass to lose some weight. That is good on the one hand, but there's what I think on the other hand, it doesn't give them a incentive, really, does it?
Well, do they really want the operation? If they do, then surely they'll want to put in the time
Right.
to get the weight down. Because just having a gastric band and not changing your eating habits is you're just going to gain weight back.
Well, let me say something to you. In Devon alone, where I am, in Devon alone, 40,000 people last year, 40,000 people applied for a gastric band on the NHS in Devon. That's just in the county of Devon,
My goodness.
right? 40,000 people, right? Now, then I'll tell you something else. Was it too in Essex? There are 41,000 people applied for it. So that's around about like 82 already. Well, 82 already.
Heaps,
82,000.
heaps, man.
Yeah, see, the trouble is, so obesity rates are going up, right? So what's happening now is, right, that I don't know if you know, but Boris, he was questioned today live. I don't know if you saw it, where he was saying about obesity. He was saying, "Oh well, what we're going to do, we're going to give everybody a gym pass who's over a certain weight over BMI, and they've got to kind of like work it off themselves." Yes, you might get people that want to do that, but on the other hand, you might get what you call. I've got to be careful here. What I'm saying, people who are lazy and don't want to get off their backside and to lose the weight. You know what I
Mm.
mean,
Well, then they won't get their operation. It's as simple as that.
right? No, but also what I've been told, I do not like saying this word, but slimming world, the government are actually going to pay Slimming World to have these people put on the Slimming World course to actually lose the weight.
Okay, and they probably will lose weight because even Slimming World is better than lots of junk food, but there's still not much education there. You're still consuming the foods that keep triggering that ping, keeping the cravings alive. But people need coaching. People that eat the wrong kinds of food too often. It's not a change of diet they need a coach, a personal coach. not slimming, not being Slimming Club and have someone that I don't know.
The trouble is, you'll see, with these slimming clubs, so right, it's not really personally one to one. I think people will do much better if they have one to one coaching, right? That's what I think. That's what I always thought. But the trouble is, yes, okay, it's some time consuming, right? But at the end of the day, if it's going to help one person, it's going to help another person. But the trouble is, what's it? Obesity. I think the rates of obesity has gone up now to around about 56 in the UK, 50% in the UK. We're looking at something serious.
I know, it's huge.
You know, I don't know
I
what.
think the government will be better off, instead of giving people gym passes and they not be used, hire coaches to work with these people on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll get that. Someone who is severely overweight to the point of it affecting their health and they know it, they need more than. They just need more. They need more help along the way. They need more guidance. They need their handheld. They need to be led. They need to be supported. And you get an element of that in these slimming wheel things.
I know it's bad, isn't it?
But not really enough.
I know. Yeah. The report, the statics. Sorry, bear with me. I've got a bit of a ulcer in my. There's the report, the statistics in 2020. Physical activity and diet, right? Was so. Sorry, no, hang on a second. What am I reading here? Oh yeah, the 67, sorry, 67% for men and women are gone up in obesity rates, right? But this is the cruncher. While 20% of year 6 children, right, was classed as obese.
Yeah.
So what's that? 13, 14 or something, are they? In that year. So it's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But the government need to do something really quite severe about the amount of junk food that's out there. That's the problem. Quick junk food. I mean, look, right now, I don't know much about advertising and marketing and yada yada, but for the last couple of days, I've heard people talking about the fact that in the football, they've got a bottle of Coca-Cola sitting in front of someone. So, this really gets someone nerves, because the big food companies have the money to pay. So they will always get viewings, and the people that are trying to get healthy food put in the, normal, healthy food that we should be eating, that doesn't get a look in, because you've got Coca-Cola bottles all over the place. And that won't change because it's all about the money.
Yeah.
That is a fine example. That Coca-Cola bottle in front of that player at the match or whatever it was, I don't know. But 2 different people have spoken about that in the last 2 days.
Yeah, obesity costs the NHS 4.2 billion a year.
It's one of the biggest.
And without urgent, and ratio action, this will rise to 10 million a year by 2050.
Yeah, something needs to be done. But why are these food companies allowed to sell crap? Literally, this, sunflower oil, awful stuff. But companies are allowed to do it. In the 1940s, that was recognized to be toxic for our human system. We are still using it.
Wow. The trouble is, I think this obesity lark is going to go on for a long time, because when that, you know what it's like. I've tried lobbying the government. I haven't gone very far, and other people have. And the trouble is, it's all, as we said before, it is me and you on here. It's all about the money.
Without a doubt.
It's all
We
about the
know
money.
it is.
It is,
They'll
and
cover it over with fibs and things, but of course it is. I mean, for heaven's sakes, the food manufacturing companies, the big foods, they um they sponsor the pharmaceutical companies.
yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I
but
know.
there's
But
obviously, you know, the big boys at the top say, "Oh no, no, no," but oh, come off it.
what's the
Oh,
worst? No, I've got something in front of me. What do you think is the worst area in Britain for obesity?
oh,
What do you reckon?
I would imagine in the Midlands somewhere.
Close, close. London.
London?
Yeah,
Is that because there's more people there?
yeah, probably. London. Honestly, yeah, I got maps. I got a map here of it all.
Wow, okay,
I,
that's interesting, isn't it?
yeah, I get all the up to date stuff on obesity and stuff like that. But the
Yeah,
trouble is, Sophie, what you've got to realise is these people who's in these supermarkets who are selling these food, then you've got people lobbying in Parliament saying, yeah, we need to sort out the obesity thing, right? Really, really, how can they sort it out until they get rid of the crap that's on the shelf?
they can't really. You know, home economics needs to be brought back into school so the young children learn from a young age what's healthy or not. And
Yeah,
all right, they may go home and still be fed rubbish, but they'll learn that it is rubbish and they'll learn and take that forward for when they have children to re-educate them.
yeah,
But
yeah,
going back to that the gym pass thing, you know, that you both you and I are members of the Public Health Collaboration. Now, this is a charity organisation trying to work alongside the medical practice to take the pressure off of the NHS. Why don't the government approach Public Health Collaboration and we all chip in and do our bit? I mean, I don't get paid for doing any public health collaboration work. It's a charity.
I don't get
We,
paid for
we give
nothing.
our time and effort. So why don't the government step in and support the public health collaboration and get us to work alongside people? It's a very
Uh,
good question.
well, the trouble is, Sophie, that's what we need to do. That's what needs to be said because, it's, I don't know. It's we're living in a world now where we're fighting against different things that like the supermarkets, takeaways.
I know, and it is very difficult for people to stay on the straight and narrow because they're surrounded by colourful. You notice how colourful the packets are to attract your attention, to make you buy them, and they're
Yeah,
loaded
yeah,
with foods and ingredients that ping trigger your dopamine response, and your body and your brain shouts out for more and more. So you go back and you buy more and more.
yeah. Wow.
I find it's a really I really get on the soapbox about it because the government is saying, oh, you know, people need to lose weight, but they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything valuable to make that happen.
See what they, but they also, Liz, they don't know what they're doing because the government. Look at this, right? Fat patients are to blame for the failure of a free gym scheme costing the NHS 100 million a year because more than half quit within 3 months. Yes, okay, that's fine. But the trouble is, why is government or the NHS want to pay £100 million out? What they need to do is get rid of all these takeaways and all these, um, the rubbish, of the food, right? Then put, healthy stuff in there. Then, then spend the money. At the moment, the NHS is spending £100 million a year, which is a waste of money. Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a very good statement, isn't it? Or a very good point. You know, McDonald's popping up all over the place. Well, ban the bloody things. Ban them. Don't allow them to keep popping up all over the shop. Put,
I
you know,
know.
just make more of an effort to, I don't know.
Do
It's
you
really,
think?
really frustrating because, for the likes of me and you, I know you do a massive load of campaigning. Number one, I wouldn't actually know where to start, but it's just us few against these big organisations. I don't
Yeah, I
know
know.
how we could win something like that. I am going to try and find out about using the public health collaboration because that's what it's for. It's an organisation created to work alongside the medical practice. Now, the government must know about them, so why aren't they turning to them?
Wow, because they're probably afraid to see what they would do. It's about you know when they see like a lot of people talking about carbs and other bits and pieces, on their Facebook. They say, "Oh, I'm not going to go there."
Yeah, and you've made a good point there actually, because the government is saying the food pyramid, eat these carbs, and then they're promoting an organisation that is saying don't eat those carbs.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
that's the only way they're going to do it. I
I
mean,
know, but the trouble is, it's messed up in it.
oh, it
And
is. I mean,
anyway, sorry.
sorry. No, I was just going to say, going back to the slimming world things, they even somebody who just wants to lose a few pounds can find those things difficult, let alone someone that needs proper guidance and support virtually 24/7,
Mm,
because people that are severely overweight to the point that it's affecting their health, they're turning to these foods for a reason. There's lots more going on up here.
mm,
So just going to the gym isn't going to change what's going on up there.
yeah, yeah.
That needs to
It's
be dealt with.
it's a vicious circle, isn't it? And you can't be nothing. It's a great big vicious circle, and it's so difficult to get out of.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, there's a lot of see. It's likes of you who's going out there and trying to help people. You know, I can understand it now. Why? You know, I why don't people just spend out a few hundred quid to you, right? So you can help them, because if they work it out a year, what they're buying on takeaways, it's probably be more than that. You know what I
I
mean?
would. It would. It does work out cheaper in the long run, because these crappy foods, a bag of crisps may seem cheap, but they don't fill you up. So you're having like maybe 10 bags of crisps in an hour. Well, how much does that cost?
Yeah,
But changing your diet, consuming foods which are keep you fuller for longer, you end up spending less on your groceries, because it's the one of the first things a lot of people say, oh, I can't afford to eat healthily. But when they weigh up their shopping bill, they're buying less food because they're eating less food. So in actual fact, they can end up saving money.
yeah.
But
But then people will come back. See, I've heard all this before, and then they come back and they go, "Okay, I'm going to buy healthy food," but the trouble is, healthy food is so expensive.
exactly, but item for item, but you eat less of the healthier food because it keeps you fuller for longer. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
misconception.
yeah. I know. I remember Michelle kind of like she hasn't done it lately, but she did a Sunday lunch once, and we were given a cabbage. Now, I do not like cabbage very much, right? I will only eat it if it's cooked properly, and it's easy in it to cook a cabbage. You know what I mean? And Michelle cooked it okay. It was lush. But then the following day, I had a meal somewhere and I had cabbage with it, and it was so disgusting. And what they and I don't know what they do with these cabbages when people get it, but there's some sort of kind of like either a sweetener or they put salt in it or whatever they do. I don't know, but it was a bit rank. You know,
Ew.
it was a bit rank. Um, Ellen wants to know. She says, "Hi Steve, I love the idea about this business about kind of like trying to get rid of the takeaways. trouble is, at this moment in time, thank you, sir. The trouble is, at the moment in time, we can't. Um, the government won't get rid of all these takeaways. The takeaways are making them money. Um, what can I what can I do to join on the bandwagon? Just keep on kind of like contacting the government, but whether they listen or not, it's another story, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's difficult, isn't it? Where do we start? They must. Well, you've done a lot of campaigning, Steve. You're the expert. You'll need to tell us. It's not an area that I've ever dabbled in,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
like
think the trouble is, so when you do campaigning about obesity, and the trouble is, you got to be so careful too. I remember kind of like standing outside a building site once because they were putting a KFC there, and I chained myself to the fence. It's okay doing it, but the trouble is, you got to expect what's going to happen afterwards. And for me, I was lucky enough to get like a telling off by the police and said, "Don't do it again." But I don't listen. So you know, I go all the way to when I say I do something, I do it, and I believe in it. But the trouble is, we can do all the campaigning, we can do all the protesting, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be funny, but it'd be a waste of time because at the end of the day, the government are not going to do nothing. You know,
yeah, because there's
if you look at it, what we belong to, PHC. What are they doing to take notice of us at PHC?
I wonder whether instead of going against something is to really promote the better thing. So instead of saying down with that, go with up with that. Promote
Yeah,
the better thing instead of trying to. Do you see what I mean? So instead
yeah.
of going to the government and saying ban takeaways, we should be going out into the general public and say, yay, eat fresh, buy fresh food. It's cheaper in the long run. Cheaper in
Good
the long run.
idea.
So
Good
just
idea.
promote the good stuff and just leave the bad stuff. And hopefully people hear that's not a bad idea though, is it, Steve? So people will hear all the good stuff.
Just don't go on Twitter and do
Are
any
you
campaign.
laughing?
What?
So are you laughing?
Well, I'm laughing because I'm just about to say, don't go on Twitter and kind of campaign on Twitter to any of the food companies or the government because they just chuck your Twitter.
You'll be
Michelle can
taken
tell.
down.
Michelle can tell you how many times I've been in jail on in Twitter. Okay, and it's not very
Interesting,
funny.
isn't it? I
Sorry.
mean, it's interesting. You're not being rude. You're not being nasty. You're not being anti, something
Yeah.
personal. You're just making a statement. Bang, you go.
Yeah, yeah. They bung
Interesting.
me to jail.
I know. You see it all the time. My fellow, primary health coaches, they try their best to help people. Bang, they're wiped off Facebook. Their groups go. Groups that they've spent months, years maybe building, gone. Just
I
like that.
know.
Because they've said something. Said something.
See, they don't like it, do they? They don't like it.
No.
They hate people kind of like sticking up for themselves. But
There's so much money made by
yeah,
selling by
yeah,
the big the big food companies. So much
yeah.
money made.
What have you got before we finish? What have you got going on at the moment? Any deals or anything for anybody listening?
My 21-day body reset program has just started, and it for those that didn't jump on it, you've missed out because I was pushing it out for just £99. It's actually now worth it is worth £299, but so people have missed out a really good bargain, and that's going on at the moment, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun. I've just had a live I had a Zoom call with the ladies on it, and oh, it was just really good fun, really good fun, and they're doing all fantastic. But I do have things in the pipeline, Steve. I am actually adding supplements to my programs because it is becoming more and more recognised that the foods that we get are devoid in some nutrients.
Right.
So I'm adding some supplements into my programs, and also supplements that really focus in on gut health, because gut health, your gut, the health of your gut is the core of your overall wellness. And get this, I'm also adding the chance to be able to have your DNA tested, so as you can eat exactly what your body needs. And I am so excited about that one.
Ah, so when do we hear about all this lot then?
I'm still kind of doing the training things on, that I'm still just learning a few things myself. So it's a fairly new project. But I'm taking the supplements at the moment. I've got a 21-day supplementation pack, and because I want to know how I feel, how it tastes, how it works, can I fit it in, to be able to promote those supplements
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
to
yeah,
potential clients, obviously.
yeah.
And so far so good. I've noticed that I'm actually sleeping better, so that's already a positive. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. But the DNA testing, I'm really excited about, because as a primal health coach, it's all about gene expression, up regulating good genes and down regulating the bad genes. So the DNA will allow you to stabilize everything by choosing the foods that work specifically for you, not anyone else, for you. And that's really exciting stuff. And it's the top-notch company as well. Top-notch company. They do
Really
about
good,
70
really good.
different
People,
analyses. Yeah, I'm
yes.
so
So
excited. Can you tell?
there you go. Eventually, you'll be able to put your denim jeans on. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. You can get your favourite genes on by
yeah,
feeding your genes what they need.
and take the ugly ones off. Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Okay then. Thanks very much. I'll see you next week, and we'll talk
And
before we
next
go.
week we're cooking.
Yes, definitely. It's got to be
Right.
something simple.
Hmm?
It's got to be something simple.
Yeah, will be. All of my recipes are simple.
Yeah, I know they are. All right then. See you later. Thank you.